Hey class, Mr. B, this video is for literal equations. Okay, now you're probably used to equations. Equations have numbers, they have letters, they have equal signs, all that fun stuff. Literal equations are formulated a little bit differently. They only primarily have letters. Okay, alright, so normally when you have an equation you have one letter and you're solving for it. But in this one you have multiple letters. So I'm going to give you one over here. They work the exact same way though. So I'm going to have A equal to B plus H. Alright, and for this, B plus H, now I have to solve for a particular letter. In literal equations, it'll always indicate which letter you're solving for. So I'm just going to say solve for H. Okay, solve for H. So on this equation, capital A equal to B plus H, I need to get H by itself. So I need to get rid of this B over here. Okay, well, I don't look at this sign over here. You look at the sign in front of it. Well, the sign in front of it, I don't see one. Whenever you never see one, it's always plus. So in order to get rid of plus B, positive B, or adding B, what's the opposite? Well, it's subtract B. So minus B over here, minus B also over here. Okay, so what happens? So when I do that, it's the inverse, so this goes away. I'm going to put my equal sign over there. On the right hand side I have plus H, I'm just going to put positive H there. And on the left hand side, we have capital A minus B. Well, can I combine those? No. They're not the same, they're not like terms. So whenever you can't combine, you write what you see. What I see is going to be A minus B. Alright. And for this, I've solved for H, I've accomplished what I set out for, and that's it. So we have A minus B is equal to H. Okay. Alright, so that's all you need to do. You need to get that variable isolated by itself. Let me give you another one. We now have K equal to R over S. And in this case, we're going to solve for R. Okay, ask yourself the question, what is S doing to this R? Well, it's written as a fraction, and that fraction means divide. So actually this S is dividing R. What's the opposite of that? Multiply. Okay, so you're going to multiply both sides by S. Multiply this side by S, and this side by S. Well, when I do that, dividing S and multiplying S, they cancel out, they get rid of each other. Okay, on the right hand side we're left with R, and over here we're left with S times K. Okay, now when you have literal equations, for the most part you will alphabetize them, so instead of writing SK, I would just put KS. And since they're next to each other, it indicates that they are multiplying, so you don't have to put a multiplication symbol there. Okay, so you have R by itself, we've correctly solved for that. Alright, let me give you another one. So we're getting familiar on solving different types of ways. So M equal to NP. We're going to solve for P. Okay, and when you have these equations, just think, what is the other stuff, the other variables, doing to that variable that you're solving for? Okay, well, for this, I need to solve for P. Okay, so what is this N doing to it? Well, when they're next to each other, that means they're multiplying. How do I get rid of that? I divide. So you need to divide both sides by N, because I need to get rid of that. So I'm going to cross out these N's. On the right hand side, we're just left with P, that's what we wanted. And left hand side, M divided by N, you cannot simplify that. So you just keep it, you write what you see. So we're just going to have M divided by N. That's it. We solved for P, we got it by itself. The other stuff doesn't matter so much, just as long as we get that variable isolated by itself. Alright, one more example. Let's do D equal to C minus E. And in this case, we're going to solve for C. Alright, well if I need to get this variable by itself, I need to get rid of subtracting e. Alright, well what's the opposite of subtracting e? Well the opposite is adding e. So I'm going to add e over here. Now do not put adding e over here. You must do it to both sides. I'm going to put it also underneath the d. Okay, so this goes away. On the right hand side we have c, left hand side d plus e. It cannot combine, so you write what you see. It's just going to be d plus e. Alright, that's it. Now, for the most part, the examples that I just did here are one step. When you have multiple steps, that's going to require a lot more careful consideration when you're solving. But for the most part, if you understand this, you're going to be very successful in literal equations. Alright, that's it. Thanks.